Our first guest is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. You know her, you love her, you just saw her new movie. Please welcome Julia Roberts.
Hello, Rosie.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you in a while.
In a very long while.
Makes me sad.
Well, I'm here now.
Thank goodness. And the movie, delicious.
Thank you.
We all love it. Really great. Did you go see it today with everyone? No, you didn't.
I was working.
Yeah. Do you like to go to see your own movies, or is it a little weird?
It's sort of both. I like it, but it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To sit in, like at the premiere, you have to go. You ever like sneak in on a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, pay the money, sit in the back row?
I did that for Pretty Woman just before it closed. I snuck into a theater, and it was actually funny because I'm shameless, and if I'm funny, I will laugh at myself. And so I'm watching the movie, and I'm in the back, and I'm laughing at myself laughing on the screen, and the man sitting in front of me after a while sort of because we were echoing each other, and I think he caught on.
Yeah.
A little embarrassing.
Gave it away.
Yeah.
Now, you and I share an agent, Elaine and Risa. Mm-hmm. When I was an up-and-coming young comedian, and I wanted to get through to my agent, Risa, also your agent, she would never pick up the phone.
But then you were very clever and resourceful.
Tell everyone what I did.
She would call and ask for Risa, well, she's in a meeting now, can you call back? And so she'd call back. Oh, she's on a conference call, can you call back? And so she'd call back and say, hi, it's Julia Roberts. One moment, please.
That's right. It's the only way I got through to my agent. And then she'd be so busted because, you know, she'd put me on hold, like, literally for an hour. And then I'd say, Julia Roberts. She'd be like, Julia, how are you? And I'm like, it's Rosie, you lying sack of poo. I was so mad.
But that was in your when I saw your stand-up, that little bit was in there.
Yeah. I used to talk about that.
But then there was, you know, let's just get the bad part of the show out of the way, because I have to say, my feelings were a little hurt once upon a time when I, in my support of you, was watching, I think it was an HBO special.
Yeah.
Because Rosie's very funny. So I'm watching and I'm laughing and I'm laughing, and she's putting jokes on everybody on the planet.
Yeah.
And I'm, of course, laughing at everyone's expense.
Right.
And then you got to a little ditty about,
I don't know what you're talking about.
well, it was about the girls that were auditioning for a film that you were in called A League of Their Own.
Yeah, I still don't.
And you were talking about how they were sort of, you know, morons on the baseball field.
No, I didn't.
And she starts talking about, well, me, and how absurd I was auditioning for this film.
Julia.
Which, in fact, I didn't even audition for. So it was complete fiction. You made up a total story about me that wasn't even very flattering.
First of all,
and very untrue.
I have to say, it was not you. I said it was Meg Ryan. I did not say you.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I totally confused?
No, I think that you're mistaking the two stories because I didn't.
I could be mistaking it. But just to make sure, let's look at the clip.
No, you didn't!
Ashley came over to me. You know, she had seen me and she goes, you know, it's my turn to bat next. Do you have any advice? I'm like, well, yeah. You might want to try holding the thin end of the bat. Good luck out there, pretty woman. Nice to meet you. Get out of my movie, bitch.
Just using our good friendship, because you have come to see me perform in clubs, and I said which they edited it for cable. I said which they put it. Okay, you busted me. But, you know, I knew that you wouldn't really be hurt. Were you really hurt? A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit?
A little offended. Because you made me sound sort of really stupid.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna...
Chill
to talk all about the new movie, My Best Friend's Wedding. And will you stay out the whole show and be sort of my co-host?
As long as we don't hear the B word again.
No, Juliet,
But look, your little song made me cry. I'm actually
You're touched
weeping.
by it?
I'm
All right.
weeping.
All right.
I'll stay.
I've never asked anyone to stay the whole show.
Really?
Not even Tom Cruise. I'm just saying that you're special.
Thank you.
I don't believe I mentioned Tommy in my HBO special either. Let me think. Didn't mention him.
No. Didn't audition for League of Their Own?
Don't bring it up! I was sucking up! Come on! I was sucking up good too. More with Julia Roberts after this break. Don't go. Coming up, actor Dermot Mulroney. On June 27th, My Best Friend's Wedding opens, starring this woman right here, and it's a great movie. Did you have fun making it?
So much fun.
Yeah.
Really obscene amount of fun.
Yeah, all you got along well, I could tell, with all the co-stars.
Everybody's so great in this movie, and particularly I have to say Rupert Everett, who we'll meet later. It was so funny just to get through the scenes just to get the words out where you could understand through my laughter was the best acting I've ever done. Really.
Yeah, and it's great the whole relationship with you guys and the audience cheering. It's really great. I loved it. We have a clip. Tell everybody what it is.
We being Dermot Mulroney, who's my best friend, who all this hubbub is about, and Rupert Everett, who's my sort of best friend, second in command. We're all in a taxi, and I'm so glad you guys like the movie. Imagine if you were just...
Yeah, that would have been really bad, wouldn't it? 200 people just sitting there like this.
I know, I just realized what a disaster it could have been if you didn't like it, and you guys would all be going, oh God, not the cab scene again. But, and so we're in the taxi, and I have just told Dermot that my relationship with Rupert has evolved considerably. And he's a little perplexed, so this is him being perplexed.
Take a look right here, Julia Roberts, My Best Friend's Wedding.
Something wrong.
Well, I guess it's just the way that you always talked about George. It always seemed like, it sounded like George was gay. Actually, yes. Exactly.
Common misconception.
It is because George likes to pretend that he's gay.
I know. Why would you do that?
Well, I find it attracts women.
Indeed, yes. We're big time.
Hey.
One of my favorite parts, get off me. Very funny.
That was our first day of shooting.
Oh, really?
That was our first day of shooting, and it was about 110 degrees in that taxi. So not only am I sort of peeing in my pants with laughter, I'm sweating, my face is somewhere around my shins, and it was so hot in there. And Rupert and his improvs, which aren't TV savvy, were just outrageously funny.
Yeah, when we did the pre-interview, one of the producers with him, she got off the phone hysterical laughing. She said, none of the stories I can tell on TV, but they all were hysterical. So, should be interesting. Now, did you know any of the actors before you did this movie?
I had met Rupert once, a long time ago, and he didn't really take to me.
No?
No.
Surprising. You seem charming
you.
and likable,
Thank you.
beautiful and famous. Those
Thank
are
you.
things that usually people take to, don't you think?
One would imagine, however, on this particular day, I guess my shine was dull because he just thought I was... I think he said I was cold. I think he thought I was cold, but you see, it was all right because I thought he was pompous. And the good news is we were both entirely wrong, and when we came back together, we totally fell in love with each other.
Good. And how about Dermot? Did you know Dermot?
I didn't, but I just read the script and knew that Dermot would be aces for this part, and so I actually can take full credit for his brilliance in this movie.
And his adorableness, is he beyond adorable in the film?
He's fantastic.
Totally lovable. And Cameron, did you know Cameron before?
I did not know Cameron before. Cameron came in, I read with her when she auditioned, and we just thought, well, bang, we've got our whole deal going here, so it was great.
You have that first nervous day of the table read. Did you have a table read for this movie or no?
We didn't, but just the initial rehearsals were sort of nerve-wracking, as they always are, because the first time you sort of get in there, you think, okay, should I really act or just be casual and read it, and so it was, and also the jokes when you're trying to sort of be funny, and if you're not immediately funny, you think everyone thinks you stink.
Right. It's always very nerve-wracking, that first day table read. Emilio Estevez, who is probably the one of the nicest guys I've ever worked with.
And hilarious.
He is so nervous at the table reading. He's like, his hands are shaking. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, nobody's gonna like me. They're gonna fire me. They're gonna, like he's some novice kid.
But it's always that way. Don't you always get, I mean, every time I start a movie, I get out there, and the minute we start to roll, I think, I forgot how to act. I don't know how to do it. This is gonna be a bomb.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a huge hit. Mark my words, I'm telling you, it was absolutely adorable. We're going to talk to Dermot, and you're going to stay, right, co-host?
Yeah,
friend of mine.
Okay.
Sorry about the HBO
Rosie.
thing. All righty. Dermot Mulroney is up next. You know what we're doing. You'll know our next guest from his movies like Young Guns, Copycat, How to Make an American Quilt. Pretty soon, everyone will know him as the guy who's wanted by both Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz. Please welcome Dermot Mulroney. How are you, Dermot?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Can I say something about your performance in this film? Yes.
Yes.
Adorable.
Thank you.
You're just adorable.
Thank you. Well, I'm in the best company, of course. So.
Yeah, not a bad gig for you, huh?
I should say no. At least it's easy on the eyes, and we all got along really well.
Right.
And this
They
is
called you
a
up and
dream
said,
job.
this is a hard gig. You're going to be engaged
Somebody's
to
gotta
Cameron,
do it.
and Julia's going to be in love with you.
That's right.
Hard stuff.
Yeah, it's just hard to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Do you remember when we first met?
I do. We have a mutual musician friend, right?
That's right.
And
Melissa Etheridge had a big Hollywood party, my first Hollywood party.
I wasn't invited.
No, you weren't. She didn't know you.
She still doesn't.
Well, maybe she met you and thought you were cold. I don't know.
Couldn't have been that.
No, but I walked in and you were there, and I accosted you and I frightened you.
I thought you were a little weird.
Yeah, I remember that. You did.
But I love weird people, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, and then we hit it off, you and I.
Yeah.
And you came to see my show once.
You were kind enough to invite me.
There.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the story of Rosie and Dermot.
Okay, thank you.
Right there, in a nutshell.
That's better than my story.
Yeah, it is, actually.
I know, yeah, that was a little embarrassing. But,
Yeah.
hey, you have a CD out that I want everyone to know about.
Yeah.
And you're an accomplished cellist.
Yeah, I play in a band called the Low and Sweet Orchestra, and it's released by Interscope. It actually came out this summer during
fabulous.
during
It
the
is
shoot.
so fabulous.
It's a
Please,
great
everyone
album.
Go get it.
In
And
fact,
you-
it sold out all across Chicago.
Really?
Which I'd really like to thank the crew for buying all the CDs.
That's
While
where
we
you
were
shot
working
you shot
together.
the film, right?
Yeah.
And I hear the crowd scenes were a little hard to handle with everyone.
Well, a lot of the scenes took place outside, most of them, in fact. Railroad stations and ball fields and everything
Boats.
else. Boats. We had the one scene on a tour boat in Chicago, and we're on the upper deck that goes under all the bridges over the Chicago River. So there's people literally just 3 or 4 feet above you, and they're just walking to work or whatever, and you see a lot of double takes, and to the point where people are literally screaming, "Julia!" And it was a little distracting, but I think we got through that scene pretty well.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
What do you just have to scream, "Shut up"? Do it again? Or they take it out?
They took it out, or we cut a couple
or you sort of ignore
times.
it. But that wasn't as bad as, remember, some of the low bridges where we're having this, as you guys know, sort of deep moment on the boat, and we're talking, and it's like, heads up, the bridge.
Yeah.
So we had to be kind
Low
of
bridge.
careful.
You know what I
Everybody
loved in
down.
that scene? Those 2 little girls that were in the foreground staring, laughing at you, which
Yeah.
I thought was so accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you are the best friend.
Yeah.
You're about to marry Cameron Diaz, and she's in love with you.
I know.
Do you know the clip we have?
I do.
Could you set it up?
Yeah, I think this is where the the best friend got sent off to sort of the stag party baseball game, so she's being treated like a pal.
All righty, take a look. Dermot Mulroney, my best friend's wedding.
Potter, this is Hank and Eric from Sport Magazine.
Nice to meet you.
They're kind enough to give me a job.
Hi there.
And this is Walter, my father-in-law.
Future father-in-law.
Thank you. If he gives you any grief, you come inside.
Let's go.
And this guy, you know.
Papa Joe.
I told him he should make you best man, darling, but had to go with his baby brother.
Best looking guy in any room.
All right, hey, that'll do. Scotty, that'll do.
Sorry. Now remember, it is the duty of the best man to dance with the maid of honor.
Dance? Yeah. You can't dance. Since when did you learn to dance?
I've got moves you've never seen.
You're an imposter. What did you do with my best friend? Huh?
I'm still your best friend. You just haven't seen me for a while.
Very cute. Very cute. How's your lovely wife who was here on the show?
Catherine's doing terrific. I was hoping she could come, but business intruded.
It was so sweet. I was telling Julia that when your wife was here for her film Walking and Talking,
Right.
Dermot came with her, and she was very nervous, and Dermot stood right there so that she could have eye contact the whole time.
Yeah.
Broke my heart. It was
But
so
really,
lovely.
it was you that made her so comfortable,
Oh,
as
really?
you seem to be doing with me. So
Really?
whatever you're doing, keep it up.
All righty. Well,
Yeah.
thanks. Dermot, I have a little question to ask you that someone told me, I believe it was Mr. Estevez again, name dropping him twice, that
Big day for Emilio.
it's a big day for him,
Yeah.
that you worked with my Tommy.
I did only briefly. I assume you mean Tom Cruise?
Have you been in a coma, Dermot? Yes, I mean my Tommy. My Tommy, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you know what? He's pals with those guys that were in Young Guns, Charlie and Emilio and Kiefer and Lou and so forth. So this is years and years ago, and I hadn't never met him or anything. But he came in for 1 millisecond, and they shot him, and he's in Young Guns.
He's in the movie.
Yes, he is. It's a fact.
I looked through the film, painstakingly, frame by frame,
I'm
when I
sure.
read that little piece of trivia in your
That's right.
information packet.
Yeah,
Could not find it, Dermot.
I know it's tough. It's tough. I haven't seen the film since it came out, but
Are you positive it's still in there?
Yeah, I just checked upstairs.
You did?
Yeah, it's there. That's him.
Roll the clip. I'll take it. You're trying to tell me that that is my Tommy?
That's some of his best work.
Is that honestly my Tommy right there?
It really is. He just literally came in for the day and put on some mutton chops or something, and I think in the original cut, I actually shot him, which I
Really?
thought was pretty cool, but then they gave it to Casey in the final cut.
Can we do it in slow motion, please? Because I want to see.
Look closely right at the end. You'll see. That's him right
I'm
there.
not sure that looks like my Tommy.
No, it doesn't look like
Wait,
him.
look.
That's him. Right there.
Well, it does sort of look like his smile a little bit.
It's
I
in
saw a
there.
little bit of his teeth for a
That's
second.
right. That's
That's why
right.
I'm smiling.
So you have a whole nother video to put in the collection.
All right, my Tom Cruise video. Gotta add Young Guns. Whatever. I do what I have to do to keep up on my Tommy files.
That's right.
Well, Dermot, you're delightful in the film.
Thank you.
And in real life. Don't go anywhere because we've got Rupert coming up.
I'm sure looking forward to that.
All right, my best friend's wedding day here on the Rosie O'Donnell Show. We'll be right back with Rupert Everett. Still ahead from my best friend's wedding, actress Cameron Diaz. Totally freaked my whole enjoyment of that out. Hello, we're back. Our next guest can also be seen with Julia Roberts and Dermot Mulroney in the new movie My Best Friend's Wedding. His other film credits include Ready to Wear, Dustin Checks In, and The Madness of King George. Please welcome the very handsome Rupert Everett.
There we go.
How are you, Rupert?
I'm fine, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
You are quite dashing.
Thank you.
That's the adjective I would think of when thinking of you.
Thank you.
Welcome. I understand that you had a little fixation with Julie Andrews when you were a child.
Like yourself, I believe.
I totally enjoyed reading that in your notes. Tell everyone about that.
Well, the first film I ever saw in my life when I was about 6 was Mary Poppins. And I came from a very ordinary background, and as soon as I saw it, I decided that Julie Andrews was in fact my mother. And that I had been put in a foster family until she'd stopped filming in South Africa. I thought she always filmed in South Africa for some reason. And I told everyone at school that Julie was my mother and that my parents were just looking after me and stuff like that. And finally, everyone in my school believed me. They told their families. Their families said to my parents, "My God, that's so great that you're looking after Julie Andrews' son." And that was when I had to go into child analysis for the first time.
Have you met Julie Andrews since?
Yeah, what was really great about it, cut to 25 years later, I'm in a film called Duet for One, which is about a violinist, Julie Andrews, who gets multiple sclerosis and she can't play violin anymore. And my first scene is with Julie, and instead of going up the staircase on the banisters like she did in Mary Poppins, there's a wheelchair taking her up. And so it was like, you know, the reality 25 years later was that.
Right. And did you tell her of your little fixation?
Uh-huh.
And did she sing you anything?
She kind of freaked.
She did. Yeah. She freaked out a little bit. Yeah.
But she came around to me in the end.
Yeah, she was sweet, huh?
Oh, she was
great.
great.
She came on the show. We sang a few of my favorite things.
Which ones? Oh.
You know, you British people are quick. That's the thing about you. We have a gorgeous picture of you in the Arnold Schwarzenegger Vanity Fair issue of you and your very cute puppy. You're quite handsome. You also do. Look at there.
Fabulous.
There you are.
Really handsome.
Adorable.
And he doesn't look bad either.
Now, did you bring your dog on the set?
No, he's at home.
He's
on
at
the
home.
set, no, not in Chicago, no.
No. How long have you had this dog?
It's 8 years now.
What kind of dog is it?
Labrador.
Labrador. Because all you guys had dogs, right? Did you bring them to the movie?
I brought two.
You had your dogs, I had my dogs.
Yeah.
We often dog walked together.
Yeah.
I didn't get a private jet to fly mine in, so he had to go back.
Whoa!
But I have a picture of you and your dog in my house.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
That's so special.
I don't. I don't have one.
Right, I'll
Don't
send
you
you
think
one.
Rupert is like our sort of new answer to Cary Grant?
Yes,
Absolutely.
he's dashing, Julia. I've already said it. It is true. Now, you play Julia's other best friend in the movie.
Yeah.
And tell everyone about your character in the clip.
My character is, the clip is,
Let me look. My best friend's Reading. Roll clip. I think it's in the church with Cameron. Is that right, Andrew? Yes.
Julia is a...
Oh, wait. Andrew. Don't roll it yet. We were setting it up. We'll edit that out. No one will ever know.
Julia's a writer. I'm her editor. I'm also her best friend. She goes down to Chicago to try and score with Dermot, and is failing miserably. He's on the phone to me, and I'm really worried about her. So I come down to try and talk some sense into her. But at a sudden mad moment, she decides that the best thing to do to make Dermot like her more is to pretend that I am her fiancé. And this is the scene.
Take a look. Now roll it, please. Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm Jules' fiancé, George. Just in time for a quick pre-conjugal visit, if you catch my drift. I do.
You're gonna humiliate me, aren't you?
Only if I can.
Okay, just one thing. Stay away from...
Against God's plan?
No! Oh, no! This is wonderful! Wonderful!
No.
You're easily lovable in this film. Now, I understand you did some theater in London in the West End.
Lots of theatre, yeah.
Yeah, do you enjoy that?
Not particularly, no.
No, really, not at all.
Too much hard work.
It is. 8 shows a week over there as
8
well,
shows a
right?
week for 6 months, 9 months, and after about 2 months, you don't even know what you're talking about, really.
Yeah, get in the zone.
Yeah.
What about the audiences there? Different?
They're kind of... I always had bad luck with audiences because I haven't got a good projection voice, and they used to always talk back to me like they'd scream, "Speak up, we can't hear you," and stuff like that, which is really, really difficult.
Yeah, that's not nice. I went over to London to see Patti LuPone in Sunset Boulevard, after the show, we're walking through the West End to go to a restaurant, and I'm talking like this. I'm like, you were so good in that, I can't believe it. And some British person in front of me said, "You've got the most horrible accent I've ever heard. Shut up, you're making my ears bleed."
They feel like they own you. I remember once having a letter from this couple. This woman wrote me a letter saying, "Dear Mr. Everett, in most respects we enjoyed your show, but you must speak up. No one can hear you. You owe it to yourself, to the other members of the cast and the audience to speak up. We're coming again on Saturday next week. Please speak up." And I wrote her a letter. I was so angry. I said, "Dear..." They were called Lorraine and Peter Landauer.
Let's not name names.
I said, "Dear Lorraine and Peter Landauer, I'm so sorry about the problem you had with the audibility of my performance last week in The Vortex," which is the name of the play. "Please accept my heartfelt apologies." And I turned the letter over and I cut off some of my pubic hair and I sellotaped it to the letter. I said, "And these few body hairs," in the hope that they make up for any disappointments.
Well, don't mess with Rupert Everett. I guess that's the end of that story. You know, I have to tell you that if you were a New Yorker and you told that story, people would be booing. But you're British, you're like, "So I cut off some of my pubic hair." Oh, it's lovely! Lovely pubic hair from Rupert Everett. You're charming, I have to say.
Thank you, so are you.
Thank you so much for being here. And don't go anywhere because your co-star Cameron is about to come out.
Excellent.
All right, we'll be right back with Cameron Diaz right after. Jim Carrey in The Mask, and she can now be seen starring with the rest of today's guests in My Best Friend's Wedding. Please welcome Cameron Diaz.
Rosie, how are you? I'm well, and yourself?
I'm well, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Do you see we gave out the little karaoke toy in honor of your big scene?
Thank you, yes.
You're welcome. Now you must be a really good actress.
Yeah, that was one of my most mortifying experiences of my entire life.
Oh, you weren't just acting like a bad singer.
No, unfortunately, as they know that I unfortunately, that's me singing.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it scary? Did you hear it back?
Well, it was. You know, P.J. Hogan, the director, sort of tricked me. I told him that I didn't want the audience to hear my voice as bad as it was going to be. Let it be a surprise, you know? I'm just like, be surprised about it. And Dermot and I were walking in for rehearsal, and we walked in there, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is that noise? I mean, what is that? And all of a sudden I realized it was me. And I was like, PJ played a trick and he was playing the playback.
Right. That's
for the
nice
audience.
of him, isn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it was a great scene. It was so fun.
Thank you. Thanks.
Really wonderful. We have a clip of you in the movie. Do you know what clip it is?
I do. This is where Julia and I are picking out her dress. And I'm sort of telling her everything that Michael has already told me about her. And
right, Cameron is engaged to marry Dermot in the
Yes.
film. Take a look, My Best Friend's Wedding, Cameron Diaz.
Would you rather the daffodil?
I thought the bridesmaids all wore the same dress.
Not you. You wouldn't be comfortable unless you were distinctive.
What else did he tell you?
You hate weddings, you never go. You're not up for anything conventional or anything that's assumed to be a female priority, including marriage, or romance, or even
love. Michael and I were a wrong fit right from the start.
He said that too.
Say that. You're a good girl in the movie.
I am. I'm Kimmy.
You are Kimmy.
Everybody loves Kimmy. I got to, you know, work with a smile on my face the entire time, pretty much.
And it was great, too, because I thought that they would maybe make your character not likable in order to have... And so it was really a wonderful performance and really well written.
Yeah, it was fun to sort of play the play with Julia, having, you know, knowing what she was going on, she was up to the entire time, and pretending like nothing was happening, that everything was going as scheduled. It was fun.
Have you been to your best friend's wedding?
I do. During the shooting of my best friend's wedding, I had to say several times, I'm going away for my best friend's wedding. I was in my best friend's wedding, for real.
What's your best friend's name?
Corey, my girlfriend Corey. Yeah. And she was getting married, and so I went down there. I was in her wedding, and I caught her bouquet and all that good stuff. But that's nothing new for me.
Really? So you might be getting married, that means.
Oh, no. I caught the last 9 out of 11 bouquets.
You got a little football ability.
No, really, I say excuse me. You know, I always say, excuse me, I'm coming through. People say that I throw cheap elbow shots and all that, but it just happens that I can do it in heels very well. I'm like, I don't know, Air Cameron or something. Right. When it comes to bouquets, of course, only.
Like that commercial.
Bouquets.
You ever see that commercial for the high heel shoes, and it's the women playing basketball in the high heel shoes?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
What, you don't do that?
Do you?
I have.
You have?
Oh, yes. I couldn't do it in these ones, but I have, actually. Don't get it. Never mind, sorry.
Don't get a shot at your shoes?
It was just a moment.
Of terror?
No.
Don't worry. I don't think we would. I don't know what you were thinking, but I'm pretty sure we wouldn't do it.
No, it's okay.
When we come back, I was wondering, not to put any pressure on you, if we all could do... The moment I wait. You know, John knows it, the audience knows it. Think about it during the break. My best friend's wedding. We'll be right back after that. My best friend's wedding opens all over the country. Go see it. And hey, thanks for the white roses for everyone in the audience. Pretty classy from the studio. Maybe you think you want to hit it, John? Ready, everybody? The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little bit for you. Rock home in my hand now. Carrier American Airlines, with daily nonstop service to London from 7 U.S. gateways, including 6 nonstops from New York. American Airlines, something special to London. While in New York, guests of the Rosie O'Donnell Show always find themselves in the lap of luxury. Hotel Westbury, home of the world-famous Polo restaurant.